Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending the place of the world you are today. Well, I came to Israel, and this big reason to stay here in Israel because I want to talk with Tal Vardi. Tal is ahead of, it's an exceptional program called Ro'im Rachok, and he will join us for the next minutes, and we will talk in details about these amazing products that relates young kids with the IDF. And there's a lot to talk about this one. So welcome to One Coffee with Kevana, with the great sponsorship from the German Jewish Museum in Santiago, Chile. So welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, Tal. How are you today?
I'm fine. It's as you said, it's around lunchtime here. It's 2 o'clock in the noontime. Surprisingly, it's raining, but the winter came late, and we are happy to have some rain. And it's a bit even cold, I must say. You can see it's a bit cold, but I think the last month was the driest month in the 100 years. There was no rain all January, and February came with nice amount of rain. So we are quite happy. On the other hand, the things are getting here some kind of thing, hoping that things will get better. And in my point of view, so I'm okay. I'm happy to meet you, and I'm happy to be with. To have this coffee with you.
Thank you very much. So, can you tell us about what is the Ro'im Rachok program?
Ro'im Rachok is in Hebrew. If you translate it into English, is seeing far. But in Hebrew, it has another or more deep translation or meaning. And it's looking into the future, like seeing beyond the horizon, somewhere into the future. Therefore, we are keeping this difficult name in other languages, Ro'im Rachok, as the name of our program. And Ro'im Rachok is dealing actually with young adults on the autistic spectrum that finished the education system. And as you know, in Israel, to go into military service is compulsory. Each young adults, or men or women, in the age of 18, should service the state of Israel in the IDF. But there are few exceptions, and one of them are it's people that are diagnosed on the spectrum. For many years, the IDF was closed for people that are on the autistic spectrum. And there were a point of time that the IDF was started to be open for people that has kind of challenges. And Ro'im Rachok, we moved it even one step further, as we created the program that started in 2013 that allowed these young adults on the spectrum to gain profession that are needed in the IDF and to find a way that will be part of the IDF and serve a very meaningful and important service. And so that's the Ro'im Rachok program. We started with aerial photo analyzing. Aerial photo analyzing is a very important task in the Intelligence Corps. And it's actually looking at any kind of photo that comes from any kind of either satellites image, plane image, drone image, and so on, and to look for the relevant information that are needed. And we started with this task as there have been academic research that shows that people on the spectrum see differently. They have a different way of seeing things. So we said, how can we take this potential and this capability and put it together with a real need in the IDF? And that's what we did, to create a place that they'll serve and they'll be able to contribute in what has good capabilities that they have. So the first course we did in 2013 with 12 students. And last week we ended our 30 course with 32 students or the graduates. And we added, and we are very proud of it. And that's Ro'im Rachok program. And it has, even as we started more than 10 years ago, we do have some of them that ended the service and they are with us in working places. And as we added professions that we find out that people on the spectrum are good at that, like computer programming, like information sorting, like electronics. So there's more professions that are in it. And that's what Ro'im Rachok program is doing, is enabling these young adults.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. But let me go back. How did you think about doing this program? Because it's so amazing that you are putting together inclusion and diversity together. And how did you make that step and went back in 2013 to start this program?
In my point of view, it's quite an amazing story that can happen only here. And in my case, on 2011, a soldier was killed on the Gaza border named Nadav Rothenberg. He was a paratrooper. His father, Dror, served with me in the IDF. We both too have been IDF in the paratroop units in the 70s, last century. So it happens we gathered in the Shloshim of Nadav, in the house of Dror Yehudit, like almost 30 guys that we served together in the unit, and we were sitting in a circle, and each of us, most of them I didn't saw for many years because each person went to his own ways. And in this circle, each one told his story. So there have been one became a professor, one is a manager for company. And then it came to one of the guys that started very differently. He said, I have 2 kids. My elder one is 16, was born deaf. And at the age of 2, we find that he is on the spectrum. And his brother, age 14, was on the spectrum too. He has 2 kids on the autistic spectrum. He lives in the United States. He have a software company. And myself, that I just ended I was a civil servant for many years, working in Israeli security services. I just ended my my terms of working, and I just start my new ways. I asked him, please tell me more. And he spoke about his fear, what will happen at the age of 21, when the education system ends in the United States, the same in Israel. The kids that are born on the autistic spectrum, and the age, I think it's in most countries in the world, like age 21, education system ends, and then they're coming back to the responsibility of the parents. And it's not easy to deal with it. And he was thinking about what he can do. And he sold his company, built a trust. He asked me to manage this trust. And the goal was to create a new life model for people with autism that's based on them, that they can learn, can communicate, entitled to happy life, and to be part of community. That was our goal. And we started to do lots of things in the education system, housing, and so on. In Israel, in the States, in England, many countries. We deal with many countries. And at that point of time, I got a phone call from a friend of mine he was the head of one of our services that he said me, if you're dealing with people on the spectrum, it's something very close to my heart. If you need anything, let me know. And we were thinking that time to make some kind of a thinking tank about technology for people on the spectrum. As you know, at that time, the touch screens was like a new evolution of technology. So I asked him if he can let some of his people that deal with technology to meet with us. And he said, no problems. And they later called me a lady named Leora. She is very, very into to science technology. Her elder son is on the spectrum. And we met. And in this meeting, she said, listen, there was the idea to take the capabilities of people on the spectrum for the security, to see how we can enroll it into the security of Israel. And mainly on aerial photo analyzing, as there have been research, as I said, that showed that people on the spectrum see differently. So we took this idea and we approached the commander of unit called 9900. This unit is a unit that is responsible for all the visual data available, meaning satellite image, plane image, drone image, and so on. And we suggested, we presented the idea to take people on the spectrum, to train them as aerial photo analyzers, and to bring them into the IDF. And he gave us a very, very good answer. He said, listen, the amount of data is almost endless. I don't see computer replacing men doing this kind of task in the next 20, 30 years. I need any person. So, but he said the IDF doesn't know how to do it. So we said, okay, we understood that we have a real need in one hand. Now we have to prove there's real capabilities. So we approached the Ono Academic College. Why we approached the Ono Academic College? Because they have the Faculty of Health Studies, including speech therapists and occupation therapists that are very relevant to people on the spectrum. And we presented the idea. We said, listen, we want to take young adults on the spectrum to train them as aerial photo analyzers. We need a partner. So they said yes. And while they said yes, we said, okay, what we're doing now. So we got an officer from the IDF with Efrat, that she is an occupation therapist. They took the training system of the IDF, but they adjusted to people on the spectrum. And we built a course of 3 months. We said we'll have 3 months, 12 students, and we'll see what will happen. And then in July 2013, other thing happened. We took the Leora's son, and we practiced how you interview, how you check if he's capable or not. He was for that chance, he was our guinea pig, how we work with it. And we built the course, and in July 2013, with 12 students, we started our first course. The course ended after 3 months. 11 out of them were drafted into the IDF as volunteer soldiers, at some kind as soldiers, but in a track of volunteering, because they are not, for them it's not compulsory. And a year later, we had a second course with 14 students in it. And since then, we are doing 3 courses a year, added tasks and so on. And last week, the 30 courses ended with 32 students. So that's what we're doing. And if you'll ask me, I'll say how it works. So first thing, we believe in them. And we are speaking only the truth. We're not hiding anything. We're talking about the spectrum. We're talking about challenges. We're putting everything on the table. And the other thing, that we have a support team that actually escort them in the units. And this is what makes the difference. The escort team is built either speech therapist, occupational therapist, or psychotherapist that once a week are visiting in any units they are staying and giving support to the soldiers, to the commanders, to the friends in the unit. And if somebody will ask me, so I can say that a person on the spectrum will need some kind of support in his working place all his life, because that's what makes the difference. This,
And tell, is it possible? Is there any inspiring stories from the program that you can tell the audience? Because if I make a real quick number, you started almost 11 to 12 years, and now so you may have in between 150 and 200 people under the program. Is that right?
we have a little bit more. At this
More.
moment, we have more than 150 that are serving. And in the program, I think more than 400 were already drafted.
Wow.
It means, but I think the most significant number, around 90 out of those that serve, are with us in working places, because we continue with the graduates, those who want, into working places, and they're working in very known companies like Microsoft, Intel, or local companies like SolarEdge that are and the nice part of it is that they are working, they are paying taxes, and they are becoming part of society like all of us. It means there's no difference anymore. And that's, I think, what we see as
So the program brought people that was in the spectrum that years ago, I mean, it was a big problem, and now they are a solution. So first of all, they went to the IDF as a volunteer. They left the IDF, and now they are working for such a good companies that you mentioned, and now they are part of the Israeli society. They are paying the taxes, and they became, an asset for the state. So you started from someone that was not, accepted in the society, to someone that is, bringing with their knowledge, they are bringing a specific and a specific work to those companies. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I think other thing happened. That I think the IDF is the largest employers in the world of people on the spectrum. Okay, you won't find any other company or any other organization that has so many people on the spectrum, because since we started, more programs has happened, and it's became much more acceptable and possible for people on the spectrum to be drafted. And this one hand, and the other hand, there were research. Don't catch me on the numbers, but research used to say that people on the spectrum, more than 80% out of them are unemployed. And most of those who are unemployed, it's the largest community that's unemployed. And most of those who are unemployed are working under the capabilities and are paid under what they can do. And what we managed to do in this program is, first of all, via the training and via the experience they gain, because they serve, most of them, like almost 3 years in the IDF. They are gaining a working experience, but mainly gaining the trust in themselves that they can. And by doing so, and later on, either if they want to go to study or they want to go to work, they become part of society, not because somebody is doing a favor. It's not a favor. They're doing the task and they're doing it good. There are challenges. There are challenges out there, but the professional team that works with them managed to overcome most of the challenges, not all of them. Some of them, it's difficult, but most of the challenges, we are dealing, you didn't ask, but I'll say we are dealing with the high function people on the spectrum, those who are verbal, and those who are can independent one way or another, and that's the persons we are working with, and we find it out very yeah, it's very fruitful in lots of meanings for all, not only for them, but last week there was an ending ceremony of the course that ended last week, and the families, and you see the families, and you see how happy they are and how proud they are, and the kids, how they are, what they managed to gain in a very short period of time, 3 months course, what change it made in their life. And the main change we see is they start to have the self-confidence they're able to do. They're able, and they believe in themselves. And hopefully most of them don't see the autism anymore as something that they can't live with. And I think that's the main thing that happens. All of us have the mirror. We look at ourselves, but the challenge is to accept ourselves as we are. And the main challenge is to love ourselves as we are. And what we manage to do, and that's, I think, the main, I'll put it, the secret, of our program, that to bring them to a place that they accept themselves as they are, love themselves as they are, willing to talk about it. And once it's in the outside, it's not hurdle anymore. It becomes something that you can live with. You don't have to hide it. And that's what happened.
You create with the program, with the Ro'im Rachok, you create a program that's inclusive, and you brought people to a nice life that they didn't have before. Let me go to this one. How's your funding? Because it's so important that this beautiful program should be funded. So let's talk a little about this one. So maybe if you can tell us about if you need donations, partnerships, who are the guys that you are talking with, and also some advocacy in order to have this program much more with much more people, and also to be really successful.
Thank you for this question. We run each year, more or less, we run 3 courses a year. It means like around 80 to 90 new students that comes to become IDF soldiers annually. In the IDF itself, we support more than 150 in every given moment. And we do have like more than 90 that are in working places. Our team is around 40 altogether, professionals, speech therapists, occupation therapists, psychotherapists, all these actually to support them wherever they are. And our budget is more than 50% is donations, comes out from donations. The other part, we have this partnership with the Ono Academic College that they give us all the base, let's say, infrastructure to what we are doing, but more of that, they put some funding into it. The national security, the national insurance. In Israel, we have national insurance, and they support us in the course. Part of the course, they support us. It's like 20% of our budget. But all the rest, the companies that people are working in are paying for the what we are doing. But all the rest, a small part is the parents. The parents are paying a small amount, those who can. It's only like sincerity that they are really with us. And all the rest, around 60%, come out from donations. And we will be very happy to have people that will partner with us. We will be happy to share with them what we are doing, to share about our experience and knowledge we gain. But we're looking for partners. There was some kind of trial to do it overseas. Our model is not working only with the IDF. We did one course with the Israeli train rail system. We made a course for, we call it wagon checkers. It's people that actually check trains when they come into the garage to service. And we did this course in 2016. And for this moment, yes, there are 6 employees by the Israeli rail system that are doing very good job in their places. We are supporting them over there. And this example shows that we can take this model to any kind of other jobs, not only military tasks. So the model is really relevant for anyone that has the idea. For example, I'll tell you what is very needed in our days, all the idea of artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, you need someone, one of our graduates says is working in a high-tech company, and when you ask him what he's doing, he said, I am the human touch in the artificial intelligence cycle. And what does it mean? Someone has to train the systems. It's either visual, it can be audio, it can be any kind of information, but somebody has to teach the system. Usually it says, a small young toddler, you show him 9 cats, he'll know that the 10 is a cat. He'll tell a toddler, will say, okay, this is a cat. Computer need 100,000 examples to be able to say, and somebody has to give this information. And we find out that this task is very, let's say, people on the spectrum find it very, let's say, comfortable for them to do. It has a routine. It has very specific rules what to do and how to do it. And therefore, if somebody overseas think that he want to deal with it, it can be something we can talk about it. And any other idea?
So, Tal, yes. So, we are reaching a good number of people that is taking care about and also looking at our podcast. So this is a big call, to tech companies, to people around the world. So where they can make their donations, or where can they contact you in order to make a partnership between them and Ro'im Rachok? That this is important, because if we are reaching this good number of people, this is the occasion to make a real call.
So we have let's say our website, Ro'im Rachok. I didn't, if you can share it with the audience, I didn't put it up, but shared it.
No problem.
Over there, there's a place you can put, first of all, donations, and via it you can connect us. Someone can make a contact with us. I want to add something. There have been parents of in overseas that have kids on the spectrum that wanted to see if they can join us in our program here in Israel. And what we find out, and we tried it, it was not easy, because you need to speak the language. It means if somebody from overseas would like to join us, the basic requirement is speaking a good Hebrew, but that's in one hand, because here everything works in Hebrew. But we are open to any ideas what we can do together. That's for sure, because we believe we have something very unique that we managed to create.
I think so. Well, time is flying, and we're almost at the end of this podcast. And I would like to thank you, Tal, coming here, showing to the world what you're doing in Israel. It's magnificent. It's a great program. And I would like to invite the people not only to donate, it's also, you saw that Tal, he was sitting, he was talking years ago, and then he got the idea. So, he will receive any good ideas from you guys. So people, please connect to Tal very soon, because it's important to support this kind of programs. I know they can do many new things in the future. So Tal, thank you very much again. And to our audience, do not miss the next Coffee with Kavanah, because it will be also very nice as this one. Thank you very much. And to my audience, bye bye from One Coffee with Kevin. Bye bye, Tal.